It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
Yes, it does, and great to have you with us on this Thursday edition of the show, the penultimate show of the week. It's a Thursday, which means we'll be talking tons of baseball. David Aardsma is here, former big league closer. Our reliever hangs out with us every Thursday on the show. Go around the big leagues with him for virtually the entire show. Then we'll have some odds and ends a little later on. But I wanted to start it out today, Sam Yarnell. I wanted to get it started today with some NBA because I was thinking about it as I saw this news come out about Devin Booker getting a 2-year, $145 million contract extension. It's just staggering. These NBA contracts, I just don't know how it's sustainable. And look, when you keep getting all this TV money they have and all of that, all this media rights money, I guess somehow it is. And these teams can continue to pay out these massive contracts. We just saw Paulo Banchero get the 5-year, 230. It could be as much as like $280 million for 6, I believe, if he winds up all NBA this year, and getting that massive deal. And as I look at these contracts, I am completely flummoxed as to how NBA players, how they can get this kind of money when they're playing, 60 games a year. I almost feel like there has to be, somebody's got to put a foot down somewhere. You've got these new rights deals. You've got these new partners, Prime Video, NBC. You're trying to draw more eyeballs. You're watching Major League Baseball start to get more eyeballs now. The TV for Major League Baseball has never been better than it is right now. Seeing huge increases in viewership. NBA struggling for those eyeballs. And we know part of the reason why. It's guys not playing. It's turning on TNT on a Thursday night or a Tuesday night, and half of the stars on a given team are taking a rest night. And you've got guys making $75 million, $70+ million a year to play 60 games. I just don't know how it continues to be sustainable for this league, Sam.
So, we are approaching a, threshold that in my mind, at least, as ridiculous as NBA contracts are, I never thought we'd meet $1 million a game. We're almost at $1 million a game throughout an entire NBA season.
For the biggest stars.
Think about that.
For the biggest stars.
Yeah, right. For the max contract being $1 million per game. Mm-hmm. That 2.5 hours, you make $1 million? That's pretty cool, first of all. But second of all, I agree with you 100%. It's not sustainable. And I know that the salary cap relative to all of these sports, but the NFL specifically, always seems like a fake number that just always continues to go up, right? It's like the whatever your grandparents taught you about as a kid, the S&P 500. It's always designed to go up. Mm-hmm. It's not designed to go down. The thing is, we're getting in the NBA, not the NFL, but in the NBA, we're getting dangerously close to the threshold where it feels like it can't go up anymore, or else there are going to be drastic repercussions throughout the entire American economy to an extent. So I'd be very interested to talk to an economist about this and sort of see the health of the NBA's economy when you're talking about vet minimums versus the max contract versus the cap versus all these different aprons they've got going on. It would be very interesting to talk to an economist or maybe get them on the show and see what their perspective is on the NFL or on the NBA cap situation. Because it does, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Jason, feel like it's not very far from coming to a crashing halt.
75 games for Booker last year, 68 the year before that, 53 the year prior. One of those had to be the COVID year. I'm not sure which one it is. When you look at the number of games played, and a lot of these guys are playing, anywhere 60 to 65 to 70 games, unless you're LeBron and you're superhuman and you play a ton of games, unless you get hurt or something like that. the economy of basketball, and I saw somebody mention this, and this is a much larger conversation that I'd really like to do maybe during this off season when we have some time. One of the things that I used to say about basketball that made it so globally popular was the accessibility of the sport. And there is a huge problem coming down the pike for basketball in that the accessibility to the sport is starting to change. It's now becoming very expensive to get into basketball. At the youth level, the travel leagues, the AAUs of the world, the entry point isn't what it used to be. Simply playing in your rec league or in high school or in middle school isn't enough anymore. You have to be able to get bankrolled to a certain degree to be able to play in these special levels of youth leagues in order to be recognized, in order to be noticed, and in order to be seen to get to the colleges that you need to get to, and then in order to be able to get to the next level and ultimately to the NBA. And the entire economy around basketball, not just in the NBA, but in general, there needs to be a broader conversation because it's getting to the point now where only a select precious few are going to be able to access the basketball communities that are going to be able to get them to the next level and get the eyeballs on them that are going to get them the opportunities to one day play in the NBA, Sam. And it's a much larger conversation that people within the basketball world are going to start to have.
You're exactly right, Jason. And I think it is the one thing that, especially in America, but also around the world, like you said, has set basketball apart from almost any other sport and has made it very similar to soccer in that you don't need very much to pick up a basketball game, right? You just need a couple of hoops and a ball. In soccer, you just need a couple of nets and a ball. In hockey, you need skates, you need pads, you need a stick, you need a few pucks because they're going to go out. You need a sheet of ice. Football, you need pads, you need a ball, you need 100 yards of a field. Like, basketball is, to its core, one of the most accessible sports. And it does seem like the American economy, the American system has put its footprint on it to an extent that has made it inaccessible to potentially some of the most talented basketball players in the world, from sea to shining sea, wherever you want to put it, on any of the 7 continents.
Yep, it's going to be a question of, can you afford to get your kid into these leagues where they're going to be noticed? You're going to have to figure out a way to just, scrum up the cash. And who knows, maybe that's where NIL comes in. Maybe it's where some of these sponsorship deals come in as well. A much larger conversation. All right, we're going to talk baseball on the other side. David Aardsma joins us next. Welcome back to the show. It's a Thursday on SportsWrap, and it's a Thursday before the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, our last show before next week's All-Star break. I'm planning to take the week off, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're so well run here. We decided at the last second if we're just going to take an entire week off. We decided to do something fun today on the show. You may have noticed in segment 1, Sam was wearing his baseball jersey, and now we bring in David Aardsma. We're all jerseyed up today. We're all in our all-star gear for the all-star game. Isn't that cute? It's great. Yeah, it's wonderful. We're all coordinated, except Sam, who decided to go National League for his jersey. Yeah,
figure it out, Sam.
And I'm wearing a Bobby Witt. I'm wearing a Bobby Witt practice jersey from I think last year.
That one's cool though.
Yeah, it's like the batting practice. Ones. Yeah, it's like the BP All-Star Game jersey. So we're going to talk baseball with David. There's a lot to go around the league, so we're going to have some fun here today on the show and talk some baseball, because what else is there to talk about other than NBA players making absurd amounts of money to play 60 games a year if you're lucky? So I want to get your thoughts, David, on the Dodgers, because the Yankees just lost 6 in a row, and people were losing their minds. They were in the World Series last year. The Dodgers have lost 6 in a row. They won the World Series last year. People don't seem to be as worried.
Of course. Fire Dave Roberts, right? Where's the Fire Dave Roberts crowd right now? This is exactly what we talked about with the Yankees. This is what every good team goes through, these lulls right in this time. This is when people start slowing down. Teams start taking that a little bit off. They're not playing great baseball. They get kicked around a little bit, and it wakes them up. I don't necessarily like the timing of this one. It's a little bit closer to that All-Star break, but at the same time, it's July. This is what happens. It happened to the Mets, happened to the Yankees. The Yankees now have won 3 in a row. It happened to the Dodgers. They had won a ridiculous amount of games right before this streak, and now they got their butts kicked. They're getting their butts kicked pitching and getting their butts kicked hitting. They're not doing anything right. They're second in the league in pitching, or no, second in the league in hitting, second worst in hitting in the last 7 days, and they're like 4th worst in pitching.
But there's the key. But there's the key. The last 7 days. The baseball season's so damn long. It's 162 games. I said this to Sam yesterday when he was like, I'm worried. He used the W word. I'm worried about the Dodgers. And I said, why? It's a blip on the radar in the overall scheme of the baseball season. Meanwhile, I was the one ready to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge yesterday, about just a few days ago, about the Yankees when they had lost 6 in a row. So I'm the last person to talk. But the difference is the Yankees, there's a track record of this sort of problem with them. The Dodgers, I'm not as worried, but when it comes to the Yankees, I am.
The Dodgers also...
Everyone with the Yankees freaks out. I think it's a quick trigger with the Yankees because they haven't gotten past that. They haven't gotten past that goal line. And a lot of times the entire offense revolves around one player. With the Dodgers, at least you know there's 4 players. Even if one sucks for a little bit, there's a little bit more wiggle room. And they've got about 55 All-Star players on that roster. We can relax and take a breath. But they've also won the World Series in the last, whatever it is.
I mean, David, if the Yankees called you, they need bullpen help right now. My God, nobody can get an out in the bullpen. Even in these 3 wins, they can't get outs in the bullpen. I think you could go and get 3 outs right now.
Maybe. I don't know.
For clarity's sake, I do want to say the reason I use the W word with the Dodgers is because of their injuries. And I mean, they're still dealing with them. This is a team that, they've got 55 All-Stars on the roster, David, but 54 of them are taking up spots on the injured list right now. So if you're going to trot out Mookie Betts and like the ghost of Freddie Freeman, who doesn't look himself, I'm going to start to worry over the course of a 162-game season at times. I still think they'll win the World Series, as I made clear yesterday. And I don't think I may be alone in that thought on this show. But my question to you is relevant to the Dodgers and this losing streak. You've come on before and talked just generally about how you've been on very good teams and very bad teams, right? And I'm curious, in a locker room, I think we can all assume that when you're in the midst of a 6-game winning streak, it's great. Everyone's drinking beers, having a good time, cracking jokes. The bus rides are fun, whatever. What's it like when you've lost 6 in a row and it feels like, a win hasn't come since, the last time you slept in your own bed and you're in the midst of a 3-city road trip?
That's a great question because there's 2 ways you got to look at it. I've been on some of those bad teams where you're losing 6 in a row and it feels like a normal week. And that's not a good thing. So you don't know how to get out of it, but you don't know how to get out of the season. And one thing we were talking about, right when we got on, was it's a long season. And so when you're getting your butt kicked every single night and you're just searching for something, that's when you don't know. When you're on a good team and you go through streaks like this, you don't react as much. But you're not having the great fiesta when you're winning 6 games in a row either. You don't react to that. And that's the beautiful part. When I was on the Yankees, we had a great season. On the Red Sox, we had a great season. The Mariners was a little bit of an anomaly because we weren't expecting it. But the Red Sox, we win 6 in a row. I didn't even know we won 6 in a row. But if you lose a series or you lose a couple series in a row, you feel it a little bit, but you keep just going about your work. You know what the end result is, and you know where the road is. As long as you're seeing things happen. Now, when we're looking at the Dodgers, and we're thinking, all right, they got their butts kicked by the Astros. Everyone was kind of laughing about that 18-1 game. But then every other game besides one has been close. It's just the offense isn't quite, finishing it off, or the pitching isn't quite getting that last out in the bullpen. So you don't react too much to it. You just go about your work, go about your business. Maybe some of those superstars step up and go, all right, rile the guys up a little bit and say, hey, let's get out for early work. Let's go out for some extra work. And that's what usually happens, you see. And that's when good teams step up, because that's when those superstars step up and they get all the guys going and start working a little bit harder. And that's what the Yankees needed. That's what the Mets needed. That's what the Dodgers need right now. You're going to see the Phillies go through the same thing, and everyone's going to freak out, and they're going to lose a place in the playoffs and in the standings a little bit. And then they'll figure it out and come right back and be right where we expect them, because of those superstars. And that's what those great teams like the Orioles don't have, is that those like older superstars that know what to do when you're facing these type of times.
David Aardsma is hanging out with us, does every Thursday on SportsWrap to talk about Major League Baseball, former big league reliever and closer. Check him out with Man Cave Sports as well. We got more to do. We talked about the Astros with our friend Patrick Creighton from Sports Radio 610 in Houston. I want to ask David about the Astros because they have been one of the big surprises of the first half. We'll do that next. We keep it moving on this Thursday edition of Sports Wrap. David Aardsma hangs out with us, former big league reliever, closer, our guy. We talk baseball. I want to get to the Astros in a second. Another note on the Yankees. They basically released DJ LeMahieu. They DFA'd him. And you can tell it's tough for that organization because everybody loves DJ LeMahieu. But it was a move they had to make. I mean, there just simply was no place to put him. He can't play third base anymore. And just from a roster flexibility standpoint, it was a move they had to make, David.
It was a move they should have made a while ago. From a roster standpoint, I understand not making the move. But what has he really provided them in the last several years? That's the way I look at it. And
he's been injured.
What?
I mean, he's been injured. I mean, the injuries have just killed him.
He's been injured since he's been a Yankee, and he really hadn't provided much outside of that very first year. And everything kind of stepped down. He wasn't the same player. He wasn't the same productive player that we saw before with the Rockies. And we've seen this kind of time and time again from some players coming out of the Rockies, is when they go to other places, they're not the same productive player and they get hurt. And I don't know whether there's any connection there, but at the same time, he wasn't
Trevor
the same
story.
Player.
Trevor story.
It's hard. It's hard.
Is that a narrative, though? Is that something? Because I know we talk about it in the media all the time, right? This pitcher's a free agent. Oh, rule Colorado out. No matter how much they pay him, no one's going to want to pitch there. Not to say that you necessarily ever had that choice, or to say the Rockies were ever offering you a contract, but theoretically, hypothetically, would you have had that in the back of your mind had the Rockies come calling for David Aardsma's services back in the day?
If there were multiple teams, same offer, same everything,
no,
I'm not going to Colorado.
Exactly.
Really?
It's not because it's a hard place to pitch. It's a hard place to battle. Some people have chosen that battle and tried to succeed, and the Colorado Rockies and Colorado tend to get you. And as a pitcher, it tends to always work out in Colorado's favor and not necessarily in the pitcher's favor. And so that's always a hard one. I was a Colorado boy. I wanted to pitch for the Rockies. I wanted to wear it, and I wanted to represent it. If you have a choice, don't. It's just not going to end up well for your numbers. It might work out well as a player on the team, and you might get those wins. But something is going to suffer, and it's going to be your ERA.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be your ERA. The Astros have been one of the biggest surprises of this first half, David Aardsma, with the way that they have played. We were talking about it with our friend Patrick Creighton the other day from Sports Radio 610 in Houston, and sort of the next man up mentality. You know, Cam Smith has been fantastic, as Sam has chronicled, his Rookie of the Year pick before the season started. They've been without Yordan Alvarez, and they're still doing fantastic things. Can they sustain this over 162 and into the playoffs?
How many times do we have to ask the same question? Can they sustain it? Can the Astros survive after losing a superstar? We keep saying the same thing, and yes, the answer is yes. They've created a culture of winning. They created a culture amongst the coaching staff, amongst the front office, that they don't lose superstars and they just create superstars. You know what, Kyle Tucker? Thank you very much. We don't need your services anymore. It doesn't matter who it is. Just add Correa, Springer. Just keep going. Justin Verlander. Just keep going.
And it's
going to
happen with Jeremy Pena at some point, because with him being represented by Scott Boras, you got to wonder if they're going to be able to keep him.
Without a doubt. And they're going to have this question with every single guy they've ever come down to. Yordan Alvarez is one of the most underrated superstars in this game.
Yeah.
And he's not even helping this team. And they're already in first place and playing great baseball. And that's the beautiful part about Cam Smith, is what he's done is stepped up. This rotation is half of whatever we thought it was going to be. And last year it was bad. And this year now they're pitching well with a whole bunch of guys that you never thought would be in that rotation. I love everything they're doing there, but it's a cultural thing. You come there to be an Astro to win baseball games, and they expect you to step up and be next man up mentality. And we just haven't woken up to that fact yet. We keep waiting for it to fall apart, and they keep stepping up and winning baseball games. Now, I don't know if this team is built to go long into the playoffs the way some of those other teams have been built out of the Astros. But I'll tell you what, I don't want to face them when it comes down to it, because they know how to win, and they've been winning for years.
David, just looking specifically at the Astros pitching staff, I think it's a staff and an organization that a lot of us, myself very much included, have not given enough credit to. I mean, don't look now. This is a top 6 team in terms of ERA. They're one of the best bullpens in baseball. They're leading the league in strikeouts. What have you seen from this staff? I know Hunter Brown's been outstanding, a top 2 pitcher in the American League, 3 at worst. What have you seen from this staff outside of their superstar Hunter Brown that's been so coherent and successful this season?
Not only are they leading the league in strikeouts, they're leading the league in strikeouts by like 40, and it's the Phillies. And with the studs they have, right? With just every single guy in that rotation being a stud. Framer Valdez, we keep forgetting how good he is. That's
snub.
The name.
All-star game snub.
Absolute snub. 2.9 ERA. The guy's been pitching great all year. Has had a track record of pitching really well too. And so that to me is one of those wake-up calls. This guy is really good, and he's an ace. He's an ace. And then you have obviously Hunter Brown, young fella, finally coming into his own and pitching like it. We've seen glimpses of it, and now we're seeing it for real. But then there's the other guys. Lance McCullers, he hasn't been pitching great. Though he has that history, he has the background of knowing what he's doing and being kind of that salty vet of that rotation. So I don't think they want to make a move there, even though they want more production out of him. But they can't quite know what to do with them. You need those innings. You need that veteran presence. And then what is it? It's Walter and Gordon who have kind of stepped up and been serviceable, been good, not great, been very good. And so that's the thing with how well they're playing. They still don't have this rotation that's just dominating every game, but they're pitching to what they need every single time. And then you've got those 2 superstars in Brown, who's pitching as a superstar, and the true superstar in Valdez.
Yeah. And like I said, when you look at that division, it's hard to imagine they're not the team that comes out of there in terms of winning that division. Look at the Mariners. You've seen them over the last couple of days against the Yankees. The Angels, perennially mediocre. The Rangers have been disappointing. You're still waiting for them to put it together.
That's the one. I know. Doesn't make sense.
Hang on.
What is that?
I know. We've got time to flush it out, though. And we will with David Aardsma next. All right, halfway home on this Thursday edition of SportsWrap. Doing a lot of baseball today because why not? It's a Thursday. David Aardsma's here hanging out with us.
This is what it is.
It is, absolutely. Got the All-Star game next week. Try to take a few days off. Got NBA Summer League out here in Vegas. Try and head out. catch a couple of summer league games while they're out here. Cooper Flag is here. Get to go see a little Cooper Flag. Yeah? No interest? David's going to L.A. You're going to L.A., aren't you?
I would see Cooper Flag. I want to see it. I just want to see it in person. Is it as good as you see on TV? I want to see him against that hot next level of competition.
Yeah, you're not getting that in the summer. You're not getting that in the summer league. The summer league is like glorified scrimmages. It's like an and one. It's like an and one game. You know, they're just running up and
Remember
down
how great those were, though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
The banana ball, basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you do banana ball?
I would do it. I think it's fun. I think it's going to play out a little bit. I keep saying that, but they keep selling out bigger and bigger stadiums.
Yeah, they keep selling out the biggest stadiums. Oh, Sam, what's the matter, Sam? Come on, Sam. Let it out. Come on. I know you want to. Get it out of your system. Come on.
No. I think banana ball is a wonderful opportunity if you are below the age that is required to play t-ball. Then it's a great introductory mechanism for baseball. Outside of that, if you're
Sam
above the age of
banana ball.
I'm gonna say 6.
Wow.
And enjoying it.
Sam is slamming.
We're gonna have problems.
Sam's a hater.
Sam hates Christmas. He doesn't. He's going to tell you that Santa isn't real. Neither is the Easter Bunny. Sam is that guy. Wow.
It's fun. You know what? I've learned this. It's one, the creator of it's incredible. What they're doing is amazing. I love what they're doing. Stop taking it so serious and just have some fun with it and realize what it is. It's Harlem Globetrotters. It's and one. Right. It's entertainment. It's not baseball. It's not sport. It's entertainment. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Put a big smile on your face, just like what they're trying to do, and don't take it too serious.
Exactly, and I'm all for that. Just to be clear, like, I went and saw the Harlem Globetrotters when I was 6, and it was very enjoyable, and it's a lot of fun. And I actually think it's a great way to introduce very young kids to a sport that is still growing to this day and ever evolving. So I think it's a great opportunity. I just think there are a couple of people who are older than they should be taking banana ball a little more seriously than they should be.
Yes, and I was told very specifically, this is the future of baseball. This is where baseball is going to go, and the minor leagues are going to go to this, by a very famous baseball player who was very little too involved into it. And I said, I don't think you're correct, but it's fun.
Okay, fair enough. We saw, David, something the other night in San Francisco that I've never seen, and it's been about 100 years since baseball has seen it. The play that people could see on the screen right now where Patrick Bailey hits this walk-off 3-run home run inside the park style. Even the announcers were at a loss for words on both sides for both teams here. Give me something, first of all, your thoughts on this, but in general, have you ever seen anything quite like that? And during your time playing, was there anything that you could think of that where as a player you're watching and you're almost a fan in the moment going, wow, like totally just swept off your feet by something you saw in the moment?
A couple things. Patrick Bailey, incredible. Only ballpark in baseball that's not a home run. Of course, San Francisco. But he knew it. He knew it the moment he hit it that this is not going out. And he was running hard. He was going for it. So I love that. And that's not getting enough credit for, as a lot of 99% of ball players would have sat there and watched it for a second. He didn't. He busted his butt. And that's the only reason it's a walk-off inside the park home run, which is so cool. By a catcher. Amazing. I've had a couple of those moments, yes, and those are the neat ones. Barry Bonds, basically all of 2004, just every single day watching him walk and walk and walk with no concept of ever even swinging the bat, and swinging the bat once and hitting a home run.
But it's walking. Come on.
But it was the whole stadium losing their minds on a ball, on an intentional ball. When you're actually, it's not today's where they're just putting him on base.
Yeah.
They're throwing it, and it's like him just first pitch already taking all of his gear off, walking while they're still doing an intentional walk.
Wow.
And then one pitch, and he hits a home run. That stuff is legend. Manny Ramirez, I was at the games in Baltimore where he ran up the crowd and gave him a high five and then threw a guy out of second base. So I think it was a double play. That same series was when he hit his 500th home run. And he did almost the same thing as Bonds, but the opposite. He struck out, I think, 3 times in a row on not swinging the bat. And then the guy threw him one curveball and he just crushed it. And I've never seen moments like that where guys can control games. They were playing a different game than everybody else. And those type of moments. But what we did with the Inside the Park, that's something just so unique and so interesting that you're on the edge of your seat. There's nothing more fun, and I say this as a pitcher, than an Inside the Park home run. Because the anticipation, and you're watching the defense, and you're trying to time it in your head and when that throw's going to come, and where is he at the bases? You're like, he's not going to make it. And then the guy next to you, he's going to make it. You're like, he's not going to make it, but I want to see him go for it. And then he does, and there's nothing like an Inside the Park home run for a fan.
It's one of the things, we only got a second here, that makes baseball so unique is the ballpark is what allows that to happen, though. The bricks and the bounce is what allows it to happen. One more segment with David Aardsma next. All right, one last segment with David Aardsma, former big league reliever, closer, hangs out with us every Thursday on SportsWrap. Sam's here too. Sam, you had one more on this whole conversation we were having about inside the park home runs and all that fun and frivolity. Go ahead.
So the last time we saw a walk-off inside the park home run was about a decade ago. I think it was 9 years ago today or 9 years ago yesterday or something. But as a Cleveland outfielder, a rookie at the time named Tyler Naquin, who hit it. Yesterday or earlier this week, Tyler Naquin made his pitching debut as a minor league member of the Cleveland Guardians still. I believe they still own the rights to him. David, I'm curious, did you ever play alongside anybody trying to make the transition from pitcher to position player or otherwise? And I haven't looked it up yet. I was trying to in the break, but did you ever pitch against Rick Ankiel, maybe the most famous pitcher turned outfielder?
Okay, did I ever pitch against Rick Ankiel? And yes, the most famous because he was amazing. Like, for the very short period of time of him as a pitcher he was a Rookie of the Year candidate, right? Like, incredible. And to watch it happen with the thing and the yips and whatever you want to call it in the playoffs. Like, playoffs. When does that, like, that's crazy that's when that happened. But then he comes back as an all-star center fielder is amazing. I pitched against him once. When I was with Boston, the Cardinals came up, and I believe I got his ticket on about a 99-mile-an-hour fastball in the top of the zone. That was a pretty good day for me. And so did I play with other guys? Yes, I played with other players. There's a lot of other players that I saw trying to make it. Nothing that was going to ever happen. I played with Lance Niekro. I knew that someday he was going to try to be a pitcher. There's no doubt because his knuckleball was just incredible. I don't know where he learned it from. It's just weird. Yeah. It's like almost as innate and God-given. But he might have had an uncle or dad or something that might have known how to do it. But that was pretty amazing to see him, and you just knew it was going to happen at one day. But a lot of times you just see the guys trying in the minor leagues. It wasn't going to ever become anything, but they had a great arm. They had something. I played with Tyler, actually. I played with him with the Indians back in the day. Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, you could say that.
And so I played with him in spring training once. Great guy. I love playing with him. He was a wonderful kid. You could tell he was going to be a good ball player. Tough as nails kind of guy. I love when these guys are having this. I love when guys are trying to come back and trying to make another career, and I hope it works out for them. It's going to be a long road, and nowadays you have to throw really hard to make it happen. It wasn't like back in the day you could have a good slider. Now you actually have to throw like 95, 100 to even get a glimpse. So I hope it does work out for him.
I wonder how Joey Gallo's doing.
You're exactly right, by the way. You struck him out. It's crazy how your memory works. Yeah, you faced him one time and struck him out.
And the fact that you guys can remember this stuff, and I don't mean you, Sam, but like athletes, like pro athletes.
Weird.
The recall on you guys is nuts. It's like an elephant. By the way, is Joey Gallo doing anything? Because I know he was trying to convert to a pitcher. Do we have a Joey Gallo update anywhere? No?
I have not
seen
seen
any
an
organization
update,
But I'm sure strikeouts happening either one way or the other.
One way or the other. Yes, it is. All right. I want one American League team, one National League team from you, David. Team that is not currently a wild card team that you think by the end of the year will be a wild card team. Start in the American League.
Starting the American League, I'm not going to take the easy one, which is the Red Sox, who are technically on the outside right looking in. I'm going to go with it. The Rangers. I got to go with it. I picked them to win the West, so I have to die with this ship. I'm going down with it. They're too good of a play. There's too many good players on one team that I can't figure out, and I don't know what's going on. They're World Series champion just a couple years ago, and they have the same team basically, and plus superstars. So I got to figure it out. Maybe they need Joey Gallo back.
All right. Sam, do you got one? Do you have one in the AL?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's hard for me not to go with the Royals just because of what the Royals have gotten this year in terms of nothingness outside of everybody but Bobby Witt. You feel like that still has a chance to turn around, and they're only 3 games out of that last wild card spot. And let's not discount that rotation, right? Noah Cameron, one of the great young pitchers in baseball. Chris Bubich still pitching out of his mind. I know there's been a little bit of regression over the last few starts, but he's still pitching really well over the course of the season. And then, I mean, you've got old faithfuls in Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha. So I'll go with Kansas City just for the sake of the exercise. Would I put money there right now? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'll go Minnesota. I'll go the Twins as my team to
good for you.
Get in. And if not, I'll go Angels.
Oh,
because I think they're going to make. I think they're going to make moves. I think they're going to make moves at the deadline. Don't be surprised if Joe Adell's on the move. By the way.
Oh.
I wouldn't be shocked if Joe Adell was on the move because his value is so high right now. His value is so high.
Joe Adell's so hot right now.
Yeah, he certainly is. Real quick, National League, give me one.
National League, I got to go Padres. There's no one else that's just jumping off the page like the Padres.
That's chalky.
They're one game out, and they're too good of a team. How do you not? There's no one else. You can say the Braves and that they'd have to somehow make a run and go crazy, but the Padres are just sitting there on the outside looking in, and they're going to be on the inside looking out.
Sam?
You got the wrong NL East team. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, no.
You want spice, Jason?
Don't you dare do
Give me
it.
the Miami Marlins
Come
to
on.
make the playoffs. The hottest team in baseball. Give it to me right now. I love it.
Yeah, they're hot they're hot in June. They're hot in July, though. I mean, it's the wrong time to get hot. If you're going to get hot, you don't want to be hot in July.
10. What's hot?
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'd love to see Cincinnati get in. Sentimentally, I'd like to see Ellie De La Cruz in the postseason. I think it'd be great for baseball. And I hate to say it, I'm kind of with David. I think it's San Diego.
It has to be. The Cardinals are
hopefully at the expense of the Mets, but that remains to be seen.
Don't think that'll happen.
David, appreciate it. We'll see you later. All right, it's just about time to put the wraps on this baby for a Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday, and that can only mean one thing. It's a NASCAR Friday. Big race in Sonoma. Another road course race, which means Shane Van Gisbergen likely your favorite to win in the NASCAR Cup Series. He's won 2 road races, the last 2. We'll have our friend Tino Patino dropping by to talk about that race at Sonoma. Get some thoughts with him. Does a great job at SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. Also, you can see him over on Tubi. We'll also be joined by Robert Littall, Black Sports Online founder, talk about some of the top stories of the week with him as well. Couple of reminders. If you have not done so yet, make sure to subscribe to the Sports Wrap with Jason Page podcast. It's available on all your favorite podcasting platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Odyssey, Amazon. Anywhere you get a podcast, you can listen to this show commercial-free Monday through Friday in its audio form. It's perfect. 45 minutes. You can listen to it while you're in the shower, on the treadmill, trains, planes, automobiles, wherever you may be. listen to the show every day. It does just fine in its audio form, I promise you. If you love to watch the show, but sometimes you can't get to a TV and watch us on over 220 affiliates around the U.S. and Canada, you can also watch the show on Spotify, but also you can watch the show on our YouTube channel. It's the SportsWrap with Jason Page YouTube channel. It also has SportsWrap shorts, short little clips from the show, sometimes clips not from the show because news is always breaking. And if it is, we are covering it. The SportsWrap with Jason Page YouTube channel. Again, go and subscribe to that today as well. And without any further delay, ladies and gentlemen, time for some odds and ends. Odds and ends. Wow. Amanda Anisimova. Huh? I got it. She is your winner at the Wimbledon semifinals against Aryna Sabalenka. The top seed goes down in one of the semifinals at Wimbledon. Just stunning. This 23-year-old who only has 3 career titles, I say only, one would be amazing, I guess, but she has 3 career titles to her name. She was one of these players that took a year off because of mental health challenges that she was dealing with. And she now finds herself, this American, in the Wimbledon finals, where she'll meet up with either Belinda Bencic or Iga Swiatek. Those two are meeting up in the semis at Wimbledon. So congratulations to the American, Amanda Anisimova, who will be in the Wimbledon finals this weekend. And I gotta say this about Aryna Sabalenka, who I think is the best player in the world. At some point, we have to have a conversation about the disappointment. Because, I mean, Sabalenka is the best player in the world. And sometimes I'm left scratching my head about why she doesn't get over the hump more often. I think physically, there's nobody close to her. From start to finish, from one part of the game to the next part of the game, I think she's the best player in the world. I don't care what surface it is. But for some reason, in the biggest moments, we saw it in the final at the French Open at Roland Garros against Coco Gauff, and then the way she melted down when it all was finished. And again today, in a match where she should have been, and I'm sure she was the prohibitive favorite, she comes up short against, I don't want to say an unknown. I mean, I think Anisimova is ranked like 13th in the world or something like that. She's obviously a very good player, but a match that she should have won in a tournament where it was basically her and Iga Swiatek. That should have been the final that we should have been, excited to get. And instead, she comes up short. But hats off to Amanda Anisimova. Give her flowers. She certainly deserves them. And she'll be in the Wimbledon women's final against either Bencic or Swiatek. We'll see what happens in that match. We'll have a recap tomorrow on the show. Last but not least, the Wimbledon men's semifinals. Boy, do we have storylines. I mean, Taylor Fritz versus Carlos Alcaraz in one of those finals, semifinals. And then Novak Djokovic against Jannik Sinner in the other. And no matter what, you're going to have some great storylines going into the weekend at Wimbledon on the men's side. Because obviously we know the story of how long it's been since we've had a men's winner from the United States in any of the Grand Slam events. Could Taylor Fritz be the guy that breaks that? I am doubtful. I find the idea dubious because I've seen enough to know that Americans haven't been able to get across the finish line in tennis when it comes to Grand Slams. I've seen enough to know I've seen too much. But to me, the bigger story is, can Novak Djokovic win one more? And, for a change, he's kind of the underdog, which is fun to watch. Because most of the time, everybody's always been rooting against Novak Djokovic. And they were rooting for the young upstarts in Sinner and Alcaraz. And now in these matches, whether it's against Sinner or whether it'll be against Alcaraz or maybe a Taylor Fritz, which will be an interesting storyline if they met up in the finals. I don't know what the odds for that potential matchup are, but I'm sure they're pretty high. Djokovic is going to be the guy, I think, in these next two matches that people are rooting for to get one more. because I think a lot of people said this was the best surface for him to get that one more slam. And if he wins this slam, is it the last time we see him at Wimbledon? There's talk he may still play 2 or 3 more years. We'll have to see. I got to go. We're out of time. Thanks to our guests. Thanks to you for watching. Thanks to David Aardsma, Sam Yarnell. We'll see you all back here on Friday.